Hey, what's going on, everybody? Shane here from Vulgar Display Gaming, coming at you with another album review for KNAC, and this time it is an epic album, and it's Sabaton's new record, Legends, and they released it on Better Noise Music. This is their 11th studio album, and I feel like this is a big album for them because I actually talked to Joachim, the vocalist, and he talked about how this album was different, which it really is because Legends implies there's legends in there, and there's legendary historical figures that they cover in this album rather than an entire time period or an entire war. This focuses on specific people, specific groups of people.
We didn't plan it really, but we ended up with Senusret the Third from ancient Egypt, so that's 1800 BC. So a long time ago, and then Napoleon, obviously, being the most recent of the legends we sing about, which is about 1800, after Christ.
And let's break it down. I feel like this time around they came with more, you got like, it's ancient times, a lot of swords and big epic battles and legendary conquerors. So let's go into track one, which was a killer music video, Templars. This is a classic. You got your good choruses, you got your good heavy riffs, and it talks about the Templars from the Crusades and the medieval times. The video was cool because it shows them all decked out in, like, medieval times, knights in armor and stuff. And when I was talking to the singer Joachim, he said, that it was a pain in the ass to shoot because it was so hot during the summer. And when you had to go to the bathroom, you had to take all that armor off. And then people were around there thinking they were like part of the castle or the show or like something and were trying to take pictures of them. It's pretty hilarious.
Serbian reconstruction group, so it's time correct armor. So it's not like that we have a zipper,
Yeah,
like
it's all
we do these
period
days.
correct pieces. And
Yeah. So
it,
we had to sort of walk up the stairs, out through the sun, over the castle courtyard because they don't have toilets in those old
nope.
castles. We had to go to the cafe that belonged to that, and then get rid of everything. And by the time we'd gotten back, it'll be 30 minutes because also us in knights, armors and stuff. The people they thought we were part of the show. So there were tourists, not thinking about Sabaton, like yes, Chinese and Italian tourists, grabbing us like, yeah, you take selfie with me. Like, no, I don't work here. Yes, you take selfie with me.
I love that. That being said, then you follow up with track two, which was another single. So Templars was a single, Hordes of Khan is a single. And you talk about Genghis Khan and his unstoppable army. I think this song is really, heavy. It's got, again, those relentless riffs. And the music video for this one was a little bit less serious. It went for a more night at the museum kind of vibe, which was funny. They filmed at the London Museum, London Natural History Museum. And again, you can hear more in depth about these tracks when you go watch our interview. It's popping up, the interview I did with Joachim. Very cool dude. And now I think those singles were great. Now moving on, you had A Tiger Among Dreams for track three, legendary Chinese general Liu Bo. I guess hopefully that's how you pronounce it. He's the flying general. I guess that's what he was called. But this, talks about epic Chinese battles and everything. Track four, Crossing the Rubicon, talks about Julius Caesar. That's a pretty epic track, with the die is cast, talking about how there's no turning back. Talks about the Civil War in Rome. Track five, this is one of my favorite tracks of the album, I Emperor. Talks about Napoleon and how, he was a conqueror, he was the emperor. The music video is them like playing a tabletop war game, which is great. Track six, Made of Steel, talks about Joan of Arc. Track seven, Impaler, talks about Vlad the Impaler, which is a really dark song. It's kind of cool. Again, Made of Steel, it's a cool song. It was all right. I liked it. Impaler, that was a little bit better to me. Heavier, more kind of a horror take on it because Vlad the Impaler is a pretty brutal character. Track 8 is Lightning at the Gates, talking about Hannibal crossing the Alps. That's a pretty epic song. It's like got a cinematic overtone, all the elephants crossing the mountains and everything. Track 9, The Duelist, talking about Miyamoto Musashi, Musashi, the Japanese swordsmith, Japanese swordsman, not swordsmith. And he's like, I guess, like a really epic swordsman and everything. It's a cool track. I really dig it. The riffs are like, they're punchy, they're fun. It's a good flowing song. Track 10, Cycle of Songs, talks about like a pharaoh in Egypt, which is cool. And then track 11, Till Seeger, means to victory. It's a Swedish song that they did. I like when they're going back and doing some of these Swedish songs in their native tongue. And it's a salute to Gustavus Adolphus. He's a legendary Lion of the North. But it's a killer track. I think the entire album is their most ambitious yet. I know this was the first album when I was talking to Joachim that they said they all contributed and wrote on, which was cool. I think the production and pacing and everything, it flows really nicely. It's what you want out of a Sabaton album. Epic historical battles, big chants, really, really epic guitar riffs, and it just, it brings me into I don't know, it takes me away. When I listen to Sabaton, I just think of like, epic battles, history. It's almost like they're paying homage to all of these figures, all of these people who shaped human history, which was a lot of these people have because they're still being talked about for thousands of years. And these are epic tracks for an epic band. My standout picks are Templar and I Emperor. I think those are my two favorite tracks off the album. This is an extremely ambitious album that they put out, focusing on specific characters. It's an epic album. It gives you everything you want in a Sabaton record. And if I were to give this a rating, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 epic battles because I just love this album. And I think that they hit a home run with this one. I'm looking forward to seeing them on tour next year. Till next time, everybody, stay heavy.